Yo, 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 I am back once again with another movie review, man. Yes, the time has finally arrived. Avatar, The Way of the Water, it is now out after so many years of waiting for the sequel to, officially release in the theaters. It is finally here, man. Avatar, The Way of the Water. Just got back from the theater from seeing it about 20 minutes ago, and I am here to give my thoughts. Man, but before I do that, I just want to say, if you're coming across this video, if you're coming across this channel for the very first time, I appreciate you. Thank you, man, because every single second counts, man. You don't have to spend a second watching any of my videos, but you chose to spend it, and I appreciate you for that. So if you like what you hear, you like what you see, you like the channel, definitely subscribe, definitely comment, share, do all that good YouTube stuff, man. I'm trying to take this YouTube thing a little bit more seriously. And, yeah, I'm trying to, get to 1,000 followers and whatnot. So you guys will definitely help me along that way. And like I said, if I'm providing good content for you, if you like what I'm hearing, if you like what you're hearing, man, if you find me entertaining enough, like I said, man, do all the good YouTube things. Subscribe, tell a friend, share, comment, all that good stuff, man. But anyway, Avatar, The Way of the Water. Now, we all know that the first Avatar film came out all the way back in 2009, man. So over 10 years ago. And, this sequel was long awaited. It was, I guess you could say, long anticipated for a lot of people. And, this sequel was definitely talked up a lot over the years because of the work that James Cameron put behind this whole Avatar world, I guess you could say, building this whole Avatar world with the Na'vi tribe and all of that. And we all know that, more sequels are going to be coming. This is just the first of many. And he's been working on this for quite some time. So a lot of people were definitely curious to see what the sequel was going to be like. And now the sequel is finally here. It took 13 years for the sequel to come. And just before I get into the nitty gritty details, man, in short, this movie is freaking amazing. I was blown away. It definitely lived up to the hype. It definitely lives up to the long wait. My goodness, man. If you don't watch anything else past this, I just got to say, if you haven't seen Avatar, Way of the Water, please go out and see this shit, man. This shit is freaking dope. It is amazing. I could just go on about the visual effects alone and just gloat about how amazing the visual effects are. When it first starts, it was just something I'd never seen before. The visual effects are unfreaking real. Oh man, it's definitely an unique experience. And I will say that Avatar, it does have its own aesthetic. It does have a unique look to it. It has its own look to it. Just to say that, its own sort of style, its own visual style. It definitely has that. This whole world of Pandora is it feels like something that actually exists. You know what I mean? The creatures that's in it, look, man, I'm almost speechless right now. Avatar, Way of the Water, like I said, in short, if you don't watch anything past this, it is a great, 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 great film, man. This is the best movie I've seen this year, hands down. No question. I've seen a lot of mediocre and crappy movies this year in the theaters, but this one definitely took the cake for me. This one is it's dope, man. It's dope. I love the story. Like I said, the visual effects, the action. Oh, the action is solid. This is a solid film. I can't say it. I can't say it enough, man. This movie is definitely a worth watching movie. So I guess with that being said, I'm going to go into my good, I'm going to go into my bad, and I'm going to pretty much wrap it up from there, man. One of the things I love about this movie, I've been talking about it, is the special effects. The special effects is something just unreal. I've made a video a little over a week ago talking about why I think that Avatar 2, or why I thought that Avatar 2 was going to be doomed to fail. And I said in that video that above all else, if everything else fails, this movie has to give the audience a visual appeal, or I should say it has to give the audience such groundbreaking special effects to the point to where it is something that's like out of this world, like you've never seen before. And I gotta say, at least for me personally, I can't speak for anybody else, I think it gave me that, man. These visual effects was just something that I've never really, there's like very few films that lives up or is like on the same level as like the visual effects in this film. Like the visual effects in this film is just mind-bogglingly amazing. And I haven't seen it on IMAX or anything like that. I just saw it in like normal 3D. So I could imagine seeing this film in IMAX. Like you're probably like your eyes will probably just be like drunk off of just like beautiful visuals, because this movie has tons of great visuals. And one of the best things I like about it is that when you get to certain close-up shots, you definitely see the detail. You see the realism in a lot of like the textures and just like everyday elements that we just come across on a daily basis. Whether it's like you're on a beach and you're by water and stuff like that, metal and all of that stuff. Like we all know what the texture of metal is like. We all know what the texture of water is like, how water looks and stuff, how it interacts. And when it gets to like certain close-up shots in this film, like you definitely see like the detail in like especially with the water. There's a lot of water scenes, of course, because it's called Way of the Water, so I guess that is expected. But like the water just looks freaking realistic, man. The world of Pandora is just like, it just looks like it's an island on this planet that actually exists that you could just actually go to, or it's like an actually real life external planet far away from us that you could actually go to and interact with. It is a very beautiful movie, man. The tribe, there is a new tribe in this film. I forgot the name. The name escapes me, but it's basically like the water type tribe people. They are amazing. Like the designs of just the Na'vi and then the new tribe of people. Like I said, the detail, man. It's just the little details. And you definitely see it with like the close-up shots when it gets up close, like certain action scenes, like certain characters that are underwater or they're fighting by water or they're just fighting on a ship or whatnot. When they like draw like closely into like whether it's on the ground or whether it's underwater, like those close-up shots, you definitely see like, damn, this shit looks real. Like it looks almost freaking like you could touch it. You know what I mean? So the visual effects alone, like you should go out and see this movie just for visual effects alone, above all else. So, like I said in that past video, if anything else failed within this movie, the visual effects had to deliver. And I feel like just on the visual side, it delivers tenfold, man. It definitely delivers. You do definitely get a unique experience, and you see why this movie took so long to make, because it's in the details, man. That's all I could say. It's in the details. Beyond that, I think the story is really solid. I wouldn't say it's like the best story in the world or anything like that. It's quite a simple story. It's quite easy to follow. You know what I mean? I guess you could say it picks up right from the first one. I'm not going to go too much far into it, but the story is solid. It's a very solid story. The cast of characters, I think they're great. You definitely feel for a lot of the characters. Jake Sully, who is the main character of this, he has 4 kids now, and it's definitely a very family type movie. Very, like, you do definitely get the fatherhood type vibes. It's definitely about like fatherhood and protecting family and doing what's best for your family. You know, just moving your family from one place because that place that you was living at is in danger. Now you have to go to another place because you feel that, you know, you have to protect your family at all costs. That's basically like the main theme of this film, is protecting your family at all costs and doing what's best as a father to protect your family. And so I do definitely think that the message there definitely delivered in this movie. I think it's done very well. And yeah, so that is another good thing that I did really like about this movie. Another good thing that I really love about this movie is the pacing of itself. Because this film is over 3 hours long and it don't really feel like 3 hours. Yeah, it is a long movie and you do kind of feel it, but it's not like, okay, damn, this movie is like taking forever to finish. Like, no, it goes at a very well paced, man. So I do like the pacing. I think James Cameron did a great job at like pacing this movie out. Giving you certain action scenes and then breaking that up with, character development and building certain characters and developing the story and stuff like that. And they give you a little bit of action in between and then a little bit of exploration, like in the middle of the film, because I feel like in the middle of the film is like where the movie just explores, where you're just exploring different areas in Pandora, whether it's certain underwater areas or like somewhere way out in sea, and you're finding like new creatures, like new type of birds and new type of whales and fish and all of that. I really love that about this film, man. It does take its time to like just make you grasp this whole entire like fictional planet. You know what I mean? So you do spend a great deal like exploring this whole planet of Pandora, or I should say a good chunk of it. So I would say like the pacing is very, very, very well done, man. It does not, like, I know some people are probably scared of the 3 hour runtime, but trust me, man, that 3 hours, you don't really feel those 3 hours, man. It is a solid enough film and it's an entertaining enough film to where you'll be entertained throughout those 3 hours and you're not looking at your watch like, holy shit, when is this movie going to end? Like, you will be amazed, man. Just put it that way. The characters are great, man. I like Jake as a character, even the new cast of characters, which is the new tribe of people that you meet, like fairly in the beginning of the film. I like the Chief. Like, he was one of my favorite characters. You don't really get to spend a lot of time with him. He don't get a lot of screen time. I really wish that they would have like developed his character a lot more, but I really liked his character a lot. Him and I guess you could say the queen of the new tribe. I liked her too. Every single character here, Naturi, which is played by Zoe Saldana, she done an amazing job, man, in this. I feel like, I don't really remember the first one, but I really feel like she is a very strong character in this film. Like, she really, like Zoe Saldana, man, she probably put on the best performance in this entire film, hands down. She really gave it her all in this one, man. And certain scenes, when certain things happen, I'm not going to spoil it, but you definitely feel it, man. You definitely get in the feels when certain things happen in this film, man. And she definitely brung that emotion out. So I can't praise Zoe Saldana enough. She is a great actress, but in this one, man, she definitely brung it home, man. I would say out of all the characters, I think her character was the strongest. Like, her acting was just the strongest. Yeah, so that was another good thing. So I really think that that's about it as far as like my goods. There's not too many bads, man, to be honest with you. The things I didn't like about it is like very like minor stuff, and it doesn't take away too much from the overall movie of itself. Like, one of the things I didn't like kind of like in this movie was like the Na'vi tribe, like the Na'vi tribe and the whole tribe in general, like the people of Pandora. They all look quite identical, but that's only like in the beginning. Like, as you're watching the movie, if you really pay attention to how each character look, they do have distinct features that like tells, each character apart. So, like, at first glance when you watch the movie, and maybe when you watch the first one, you're probably thinking like, yo, like, all these characters look almost the same. It's kind of hard to distinguish between which characters are what, you know what I mean? But like, if you pay attention, like, as the movie progressed, like I said, you pay attention to certain features and stuff like that. They do have, unique looks between each character. So I would say even with that, it's only in the beginning when you first watch the movie, like, damn, like, if you're looking at it at first glance, you're like, damn, like, a lot of these characters look quite similar to one another. It's kind of hard to tell apart which character is which, but if you pay attention and you watch the movie further and further, you just pay attention to small little details, pay attention to certain, little features, and also too characteristics, of course, you definitely could tell the difference between certain characters, like as far as like physical appearance go. So I would say even with that, that's not even really like a bad thing. It's just like, okay, you just have to pay attention to like certain like physical features between each character, and you'll definitely pick up on the differences. Another bad thing that I didn't really like, and like I said, it's not really like a super bad thing to where it took me out of the movie or it made the movie like worse. That has nothing to do with it at all, and that's not the case. These are just minor little nitpicks, I guess you could say. Another thing that I didn't really like was, like, there were parts in the movie to where it was like, okay, what happened to this character, or what happened to this, like, tribe of people? Like, this was like the first act of the movie. Jake's family, Jake, he decides to take his family and like ship them away from where his original home tribe was at to like move to where the new tribe of people is at. Like these are like the water tribe of people. And like the original tribe that he was with earlier in the film, and also in the first film of Avatar, like they're only in the first parts of the movie. Like you don't really get to, they're not in the movie at all besides like the first, like that first, I'll say maybe hour or so in the movie, maybe half an hour. After like Jake moves away from his homeland to like the other side of Pandora where he meets the water people, you don't really see like the original tribe like that anymore. And I'm just like, yo, wait a minute, what happened to the original tribe? Like this was like, you know, a great part of the first film. So I'm thinking like, yo, are we going to go back to the original tribe? Like the rest of the movie just takes place with the new tribe and Jake's, you know, small family and whatnot, and trying to fight off the Marines again and stuff like that. But then you're like, damn, are we going to go back? Like, what happened to the original tribe? You know what I mean? But it's not like a big deal to me. It's just something that, you know, I kind of noticed. I'm like, damn, I wish you could go back to like the original tribe to see what they're up to and see how they could help out. You know what I mean? And why they didn't move. I'm getting into kind of like spoiler territory. I don't want to do that. So yeah, I think those are like my biggest like issues with the movie. But like I said, those issues to me, it doesn't really take away too much from the movie at all like that. It's very minor nitpicks at best. You know what I mean? Like it didn't take away from my overall experience watching the movie. Like at the end of the day, man, I didn't think like this movie was going to be as good, you know, as it was. You know, I thought the movie at best was going to be decent. Like I was going to walk out the theater saying like, man, you know what? This movie ain't too bad, but it could have been better. Like, nah, it lived up to my it like exceeded my expectations. This movie is I can't say it enough, man. This movie is freaking great. It's freaking amazing. You know what I mean? It is the best movie that I've seen this year, hands down. Like, no question, man. Man, all I have to say is just please go out and see this film, man. Now, the $2 million budget thing, I do want to touch on that because I did make a video. I touched on this before earlier in this review, but I did make a video talking about why I think this film was going to fail, and that was solely based on the budget of the film, because James Cameron did come out and he did say that, you know, in order for this film to just break even, this film would have to make $2 billion in the box office, you know, and that was like my main point of that video. If you want to watch that video, I may link it in the description so you can watch it in full detail. But basically, I thought that this movie was just doomed to fail because of the budget within of itself. And also, too, the demand for this movie, I just felt like at the time that I made that video, I just felt like it wasn't there. But after seeing this movie, man, and if good enough word spreads around about this film, I really hope that this movie makes that $2 billion mark. I think this movie deserves to be one of the highest grossing films of all time. It definitely deserves it, man. Like watching the first one, I don't really remember the first one, but I remember like walking out of the theater of that first one and just watching the movie in general while watching the first movie. I wasn't that impressed with it. Yeah, the visuals was good, but, you know, I fell asleep half the way through. It was, like, kind of boring me, to be honest. But this one, man, it lived up to everything, man. And it exceeded my expectations. And I really think that this film definitely deserves to be one of the best, like, one of the highest grossing box office films of all time. This film definitely deserves it, man. It deserves to be definitely in the top 3. Maybe number 1, you know what I mean? Above Endgame. Like, it's I know I sound like a broken record in this review, but I can't praise this movie enough. You know what I mean? So I do hope that this movie breaks that $2 billion mark. It definitely deserves it. You definitely see the years of work that James Cameron has put into this film, the dedication that he has put into this film. You definitely see that. And I really feel like it paid off in a great way. I do think, even though we had to wait 13 years for this sequel to come, I do think that wait was worth it. Because had we got this film maybe 5 years earlier, or maybe even 10 years earlier, you know what I mean? I don't think it would have been as good as what we got right now. And that's because, you know, of the years, I guess you could say, of planning and making sure the special effects was right. Like, James Cameron definitely took his time with this. And you definitely could tell, like, he's very dedicated to this, building this world and further expanding upon the story. And I'm definitely looking forward to Avatar 3 already. You know what I mean? Seeing how, because, like, this whole Avatar is almost like a big war, man. It's like, I almost feel like when this series is set and done, like, when you watch it from beginning to end, you're going to be watching a giant war take place between one group of people and another group of people. And seeing the development over the times with certain tribes of people, certain characters, how they develop certain characteristics over time and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm definitely waiting for, I can't wait for Avatar 3, man, to see how the story continues from here. I'm wondering if they're going to go to another side of Pandora or another part of Pandora to meet another tribe of people. Look, man, at the end of the day, I know I said this 10 million times in this review, but please go out and see this, man. I want to see this film break the $2 billion barrier because, like I said before, this film definitely deserves it. If for anything else, man, if you don't really care about the story, if you're the type of person that don't care about the story, you don't care about Avatar for the characters and whatnot, if for nothing else, go and see this film just for the special effects alone. The special effects alone is just something that you gotta see in theaters. It is definitely worth full movie ticket price, like hands down. Hands down, it is worth full ticket price. You know, so definitely go out and see it if you haven't. I think I said pretty much everything I wanted to say. I didn't want to go into too much of like spoiler territory. I may do a separate video for that. I may watch the movie again just so I could go more in depth with the story and stuff like that and the characters and whatnot and like pick apart the themes of the story and stuff like that. But this review, I just wanted to leave it like basically about my thoughts and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to wrap my review up from there. I've talked long enough about this film. Like I said before, 10 million times, if you have not seen this film, definitely go out and see it. Please, man, take your family, take your friends, man, have a good time because it is definitely an enjoyable ride, man. Just before I go, I just want to harp on the action real quick before I go. The action is freaking, I think out of everything, even above the special effects, the action was freaking phenomenal, man. Like, I think that's like the best parts of the movie to me. That's what I liked about this movie the most, was the action. Like, the action definitely delivered on all fronts, man. The action is freaking solid. Some of the best action I've ever seen in a theater, bar none, hands down. I've seen it all. I've seen the Endgames. I've seen all the other films that had great action, but this movie is definitely up there with the greats as far as like action films go. Just action wise, like action sequences and just how action is shot and stuff like that. The action is a freaking phenomenal, man. I loved every single action scene in this movie. And there are a lot of moments in this film where I'm just like, yo, that's my favorite part of the movie. Yo, that's my favorite part. Like, yo, that's freaking dope. There are a lot of great scenes in this movie. Just great, solid, like, single scenes in this movie that you could pick apart. Like, yo, this is a dope scene. So, please go out and see Avatar 2. I'm going to shut my mouth so you can go and see Avatar 2, Way of the Water. That's my review, man. Thank y'all for watching. And, like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. Until my next one, man, I am out.